Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show us here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy Jones.
Good evening and welcome to the NFL Roundtable Talk, which is misnamed the Lions Fan Cave Chat because, well, I hit the wrong link, but that's okay. We're going to get it going anyways. I got a few people with me. I got Will Vogel, WVogs18. I've got Austin. I've got the villain, Keegan Eckert, DC Bistrilla, Pensman Sports, and first-time guest, Mike Fujimoto.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me. Appreciate you letting me come on.
Hey,
and
no problem.
Chop it up with you fellas. How's everybody doing?
Oh, great.
Good,
Before we get going, why don't you announce the name of your podcast, what you do, and everything else?
And the name of my podcast is At the 50 with Fuji and Fleet. It's an Eagles podcast show here in Philly. I guess, glad to be on the panel and ready to chop it up with you guys.
All right. So we do have a couple things that Michael Marsh, that's funny. But anyways, Will seems to be having his internet issues again. All right.
There he is.
Anyways, we do have a couple things to talk about, a couple moves that happened this week. We saw that Ezekiel Elliott was shit-canned by the Cowboys. Couldn't happen to a worse running back this year.
Yeah.
Jamal Adams was just released from the practice squad, and we got the word today that the 21-day activation window for Alex Anzalone did happen today, and there is at least a 50-50 shot he plays this weekend. So that's the good news as far as that. Oh, I got an echo from you, Will.
Yeah, it's from you, Will.
So, anyways, the Sugar Bowl got postponed today, and they're calling it a terrorist act. And whether it actually was a terrorist act or not, I'm not sure. All we know is a guy drove in with a vehicle. 10 people total was injured, and he shot at some too. It's an
15
awful
people
situation.
that are 15 people that are dead.
The guy that ran into everybody was a American-born Army veteran, 42 years old. His name is
Good luck.
because it's
Yeah,
a
I saw the
Muslim
name.
name.
That's what I'm saying. Good luck.
Yeah,
You
it's a
pronounce that name.
Shamsuddin Bahar Jabbar. I know Jabbar. I got Jabbar right.
All right, I'll give you
So-
that. I'll give you credit. That was a
So
hell of a try.
just say Mr. Jabbar, and you're good.
Yeah.
Carson Drum.
And this is coinciding.
That's like the
Go ahead.
worst take I've ever heard. Anzalone is trash and won't make a difference if he plays or not. Yeah, this is the NFL Roundtable
It's always
Talks. I just
one.
used the wrong link. We're just gonna roll with it. I changed the background. How you doing, Moonscar?
What's up, Moose
So
Guy?
are they delaying it till tomorrow? Are they moving the location? Has anything been set?
Yeah, I think they
Tomorrow.
said a day, 24
Okay.
hours.
So they're not
tomorrow.
moving the
Well, my
location.
mic is staticky.
Is that Jeremy?
Yeah.
Is
Why
that
don't
why
you
Georgia
come
got
into the
moved to 4?
Yeah, that's why Georgia got moved to 4.
Okay.
You might have to jump out and go through the chat, Will. I'm sorry. It's going to affect everybody. Other than that,
I'll just talk
Yeah,
to you guys. And wait a minute, is it still doing it? My phone's sitting upright.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dang it! I'll just talk to you
Yeah.
guys another time. I'll get my picks another time. I'll see you guys
All right,
Yeah,
later.
they'll be here. We
Yep.
will have them here, Darren. 100%. I have said nothing other than this is going to be a battle. But right now, we're going to talk about the playoff implications. As it sits right now, the number 1 seed is the Lions in the NFC. Then it's Philly. Then I believe it's Rams, and then Tampa Bay is all your division winners.
Mhm.
And right now, because of strength of schedule and having the same record, it's Minnesota, Washington, then Green Bay, correct?
I believe
Isn't
so.
that how that's how it
Yep.
breaks down there?
Ooh,
And then
guys,
also,
somebody's fighting with you, Jeremy, already.
yeah, I'm not even going to address it because we're talking about playoff. We're talking about the playoffs as it sits right now, and then we can get into a preview. And it's going to be a shootout.
Ooh.
That's like he wants to try one more time.
Are we good?
So
Bear
far,
with me for one moment.
but
here.
I was in the middle of it talking about
I know,
the AFC
sorry.
side.
Mhm.
The AFC side is Chiefs, Bills,
Baltimore.
and then I want to Baltimore. Then it's the Texans, right?
Yeah.
And who are the wild
Mhm.
cards now on the AFC side? Pittsburgh is one. I know.
Steelers, and somebody else.
Cincinnati, Dolphins
Denver.
could be with if
No,
they
it's
Chargers.
all kinds of
Cincinnati's
scenarios.
not in right now. I'm talking about the ones that are in right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Not even
Chargers.
Denver's not even in
Steelers
yet.
Steelers is at 7, and I think it's Chargers.
Chargers.
Right. Chargers. That's it.
Yeah.
Chargers.
That's
That's it.
who it is.
Oh, it is going to be a shootout, but we're not actually talking about that game. I need to use this link for my other show because I didn't set it up, guys. So we're actually
Please,
talking all
Cleveland,
NFL
please.
right now.
Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland's not getting in.
No, I'm talking about
Cleveland
being a
kicked
spoiler.
Oh,
I think my connection.
I could dream.
Working. Yes, you can.
okay. So, Austin, what do you think about that? How do you think the playoffs are going to shake out?
He's nervous.
Austin, we can't even hear you. You're not speaking at all.
Oh, Austin. Austin.
Kurt Austin, are you here? Okay. Okay, Keegan.
Honestly, you can't really predict the playoffs right now because it's just a whole mess. There's too many people that could lose, win, and just screw up
No, I'm
everything.
just saying if it shakes out, then right now the Lions have the 1 seed in the bye.
Yeah.
Minnesota will be playing against the 4th seed, so they will have to play in Tampa, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'm
the
just
6th seed is Washington. They'd have to go to the Rams.
Mhm.
And the
Yep.
seventh
Right.
seed would be Green Bay facing the Eagles, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yep.
then on the AFC side, it'll be Pittsburgh versus the Texans.
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
it's Denver,
Yep.
right? Isn't Denver the
Against
6th?
Buffalo.
Denver?
No,
Oh,
it's
Chargers
Chargers
versus
versus Baltimore.
and then Denver versus Buffalo.
If
Yes.
everything stays
Yeah,
how
If
it is.
everything
Yeah.
stays like it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, just
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way because we haven't seen Green Bay beat a team with a great record yet. Their best win is Seattle, correct?
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
just. Never mind. Never mind. Scratch that.
Their best win
Scratch
is
that.
Seattle.
Scratch that.
They lost both times to Minnesota. They lost
Yeah.
both times to Detroit. They lost to
Yeah.
Philadelphia already to start the season,
Right.
correct?
Mhm. Correct.
That's their
But-
5 big losses. They're 5-1 against teams with the winning, or 1-5 versus teams with a winning record.
Did not know
And I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm
Right.
just saying they're not playing to the potential that everybody thought they would. Because we heard from national pundits they thought Green Bay could take the division this year.
Mhm.
Was that not what was? I know. Was that not what was said at the beginning of the season by the people on the four-letter sports networks and NFL and everything else?
Yeah, it was.
I know,
Yeah,
but
that's
I will
Yeah.
say
you
one
didn't
thing.
take that.
Ryan
I
Clark
did
said it.
the one thing that I said that would probably shake down that did happen. As I said, if Sam Darnold actually plays decent with the
Mhm.
weapons and the team around him, there is no Okay, Austin. There is no reason why Minnesota won't be less than third in the division and more than likely be second and possibly contending with Detroit.
You
Because
did say that. I
weapons,
was there.
Mhm.
these were the best weapons and the best offensive line that Sam Darnold has actually started behind. Remember, he never got the chance to start in San Francisco. We don't know what he did because Brock Purdy got healthy and he just took him to the NFC Championship game. There's no way they're starting Sam Darnold over Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I saw some good and bad things in that on the defensive side of the ball. I saw the offense was just fine. It came out a little flat to start, but we scored on 2 of the 3 drives.
I
It's
thought the
just
defense played exactly what they were going to play like.
right. But the defense came out and did what they did. They made adjustments and made plays in the second half. And the Legion of Whom was the first one to get a sack and get the defense rolling. Miles Adams.
All the Lions have to do every game, bad as their defense can be, and many missing parts that they have in that defense, all they got to do is get a couple stops. They can win the
Yep.
game that way.
Mhm.
That's all they got to do because they can score
Well,
at will.
That's the only
at
difference
will.
between because San Francisco finally had almost a full complement of players by people getting healthy that they didn't expect to play that game. And
Right.
on the offensive side of the ball, because it was rumored Debo might be out at the beginning of the week, that Garendo might be out. There was rumors that Kittle's been dealing with an injury the last 4 weeks, and they didn't know how his status was going to be. All that stuff came up, and I said I expect all those guys that are questionable to play.
All right, B, what's your take on the playoffs?
My take on the playoffs. The AFC is going to be kind of interesting. I'm sorry, Penn, but I'm kind of pulling for Cincinnati.
You killed it. How dare you?
I'm pulling because I don't think anybody wants to face Cincinnati right now in the AFC. I don't think it's Buffalo. I don't think it's Kansas City. Hey, Pittsburgh's going to show me something. And another thing,
I
Pittsburgh's
agree.
got to show me
I've
something.
been talking
against
about
us.
them on my channel, and I don't know.
They really
thinking-
do. Because if they don't show anything, if Cincinnati beats them willingly,
I
then
think that bottom side is a little less lopsided in the AFC conference than it is in the NFC conference.
Right.
Because
Oh,
I think it's way more evenly matched on the NFC side of the ball, because we've got all three teams in the wild card are better than the bottom two teams that won division record wise.
True.
So I think the NFC is going to be a dogfight. We might only see 2 division winners in the divisional round.
I think it's going to come down between the Eagles, Detroit, and Minnesota. I mean, it's, three powerhouses, and I think the Rams are kind of getting hot at the right time, but I don't know. I just don't see any of these. I just think one of these 3 teams is going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
I agree. Now, Pensman, what's your take?
Mike, do you think? Hold on, before I take my take, Mike, do you think that the Commanders can actually make some noise in the playoffs? I'm not going to take this. Don't take this offensive, but they did beat your Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, that whole culture's changed. The whole season with Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, of course, new ownership. I mean, right now it could be the Eagles playing either the Packers or possibly Washington. But
right, that's what I wanted your take.
I think they can make some noise. I mean, they've been a surprising team. Like, who really saw them coming out, in the preseason. I think they could make some noise, but I believe the Eagles could beat them again. It's hard to play a team 3 times in one season, especially,
what's funny is we hear that all the time. So I actually looked up the stats. Do you know in NFL history, when a team plays another team 3 times and a team has 2 wins, they actually get the 3rd win 26-5. 26 times they do the 3-time sweep. Only 5 times had they lost that 3rd game.
Well, the Eagles, for 2 years ago, the Eagles played the Giants in the divisional round, and they beat them, to get the NFC Championship versus San Fran. So,
right, that was your 3rd time beating them that year, right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It happened as soon as that.
And that's when the Giants were actually good.
And that's Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You mean the year that when they beat Minnesota and advanced to the divisional round to lose to the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
But my take, I kind of agree with everybody, and I'm a Steelers fan, and everybody that knows me, I'm a Steelers fan. And with all the garbage that's been going on in the locker room, I think Cincinnati's going to take it. Don't quote me on this, but the way that the Cincinnati Bengals turned it around, and the way that whatever the fuck's going on with Steelers locker room, I just don't know what's going on, but I just can see the Cincinnati Bengals rolling over, and I think they're going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to make some noise. I'm not going to say they're going to go all the way because you got Kansas City and Buffalo, but in the NFC, I kind of agree with what you're going with, Mike, but except for I think the Commanders are going to make a little noise and surprise everybody if Jaden Daniels keeps going the way he's going.
As the 6th or 7th seed, I don't mind them going up against Tampa or against LA.
Right.
I think they can handle those teams. It's the next round where you might see them get bounced.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. And that's the same with Green Bay. You say what you want. I mean, I understand. It was a close game, that week 1 game, correct?
It came down to a field goal, I think.
Yeah, wasn't it a 3-point game at the end of the game when the Eagles beat Green Bay?
Yeah, it was 34-20.
That's about
Okay, so 5 points.
Yeah,
it's still less than a touchdown, is what I mean. If you look, all 5 of their losses against the good teams, they were competitive. Right. It's a total of 22 points lost. That's an average of 4.25.
I think. Not good. I was going to say.
Go ahead.
That Minnesota Green Bay game. I mean, Green Bay was, what are they? They came back in like the last 5 to 7 minutes. They had Minnesota on the ropes in that fourth.
They did that twice
in that fourth quarter. So
Yeah, both times it's the same thing. And if you look, that's how the Lions beat the Vikings because they play that same defense mid third quarter through the fourth quarter every time. They get up to that lead, they get comfortable, they go complacent, not only on the offensive side, but they get complacent on the defensive side, playing not to lose in a prevent defense with a soft zone. And all decent quarterbacks in the league, whether they're a game manager or a system QB, guess what? Every single quarterback in the NFL that plays for a team, they do this. They almost all thrive against the zone, except maybe let's see who struggled against the zone this year. Will Levis, there you go. He can't beat his zone to
There you
save his
go.
ass. No,
Well, if you
based
remember,
here,
we didn't play him.
you're
We
based here,
played
and all you guys let them back in. It was a 2-point win. That's my point. You can't play defense like that in the playoffs because all the other teams are better than that. Look at it's just like all it takes for this Detroit team with this Legion of Whom defense, even though it's beat up, it went from 22 to 16 on IR in 1 week before the game even played. And the Chicago Bears media was hyping up the 22 so much they didn't even pay attention to who wasn't on it already.
Yep.
Because I use a streaming service, so I actually had to watch the pregame show from the Chicago Bears fans' perspective.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
For
rough.
real.
'Cause they're like, oh, they're just so injured. I don't know how they're gonna beat us today. They got 22 on the IR. Well, if you
No.
look at the list that they said 22 on the IR at the beginning of that week, they listed David Montgomery, who never went on the IR. They listed Emmanuel Mosley, who had been off the IR since Thanksgiving. So that's 2 down right there before it even starts. So that takes it to 20. Then we took 2 off the IR that week. That put it down to 18. And then we had a couple more that, like, just before the game, they did it after 4 o'clock. So it didn't count till the next week. So it technically went down to like 16 at game time on the IR. We're down to 15 now, 2 weeks later. Yeah, hey, Doors Rock, Bob Swede, you guys are right. I don't expect that. But guess what? We don't take our foot off the gas at all.
Nope.
If you look, we've had one, we may start out slow, but we're steady. By the end of the first quarter, we've already scored at least a field goal, if not a touchdown. Then we're getting another touchdown in the second.
we don't
and then also,
we don't. That's because they took our pedal away.
Oh.
We don't have any players. That's it. There's those. We can't let go of any. We can't have those kind of things because the defense is going to get thrown on all the time anyway. So
after week 2, with the way they put the brakes on everything on on the offense, we removed the brake and cut the emergency brake cable. They ain't slowing down. They can't.
Well, that seems to be the problem with the Eagles. Like first quarter, they just come out sluggish and flat. I don't know. It's been that way all season. And,
Yeah, I think I said
except for Sunday against the Cowboys.
Right. Yeah, but
I think you guys have scored all season a total of 24 points in the first quarter. Is that correct?
something like along those lines. Yeah,
It's either 24 or 26. I can't remember.
You can't come out in the playoffs just like that. I mean, 4 quarters of consistent, solid, smart football.
I agree.
Right. In your case, Mike, I think that Philadelphia has depended a whole bunch on their defense. Defense is playing above. Yeah, so they're the opposite of what the Lions are. Their offense really can't get it going except if Saquon starts running over.
Really, if you really look at it, I mean, the Eagles having the number 1 defense for the last 12 weeks, and then Pat Barkley. I mean, I hate to say it, but Jalen Hurts' stats have been like the passing games, like been near the bottom of the NFL rankings. And
last time I checked, they were 28th.
Yeah, and that's like this is all between the running game and the defense is just covering that all up, which, that's not good.
You haven't heard me say that the Vikings are choking. You guys are 14-2 for a fucking reason. You guys are playing well.
Mhm.
So what's the Vikings' issue?
Hey,
Why are they 14-2?
Hey, I understand how it went last time, but guess what? If you talk about a game that you lost and how close it was to a win, when we used to talk about that shit, we all got told to shut the fuck up and take your L.
Right.
It didn't happen. So all the ifs and what ifs, you know what? Here's an if for you. If grandma had a dick, she'd have been grandpa.
Well put.
There. Okay. But let's have some fun now. Austin.
But let me tell you something, right? Let me say something real quick to Aaron. First of all, good teams win games. No matter how much a bounce goes this way and a bounce goes this way, good teams find ways to win a game. That's what the Lions did in that game. The Vikings weren't good enough in that game. The Lions were. That's why they won. How about that?
But at the same time, I got to get Austin and then Will's take on the playoffs. Austin, what's your take? Because I tried to get to you first, but you were having mic issues.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Playoff picture. It's really intriguing on the AFC side on who's going to get that seventh spot. You got Denver, you got Dolphins, and you got the Bengals coming out of nowhere after they were 4-8.
Denver's in. They're 6.
Or not Denver.
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, Chargers.
Right now it's the Chargers at 6.
Oh yeah, and Denver's at 5. They got one more win. That's what it is. Denver's at 5. Chargers at 6. The only thing that's up for grabs right now is the 7th seed, really.
So
And that's
between the
Bengals
Dolphins and
I think
the
that's
Bengals.
I think that's Bengals and
That's
somebody else.
Steelers,
Steelers.
Bengals. The Dolphins need 2 things to happen to get in. They need Pittsburgh to lose and them to have the more points because that's the last tiebreak because they didn't play Cincinnati.
Mhm.
They have to score more points than Cincinnati, and I don't see it happening. I think the Dolphins are already eliminated because of that.
Well, that's pretty, 2
Yeah,
and
I
yeah,
agree with that.
Yeah. Snoop is playing.
The game that intrigues me the most on the AFC side is the Denver and KC game. KC's going to probably rest their starters, so
Yeah,
They've already announced it.
They already announced that Carson Wentz is starting.
okay.
Yep.
And then on the NFC side, I think that's all but locked up, except for whoever wins the NFC South. So between the Falcons and the Bucks, right?
Probably the Bucs.
The North isn't locked up. All we know is one of us will be first,
Well,
and
right.
one of us will be
I'm
fifth
talking.
seed.
I'm talking about that 4th seed or whatever.
The 4th seed is kind of up in the air, but right now, after Atlanta lost, isn't it the Bucks division again?
I believe so.
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
so.
It's their
the
division,
Bucks
but
are-
if Atlanta wins and the Bucks
Right.
lose, then it's Atlanta because Atlanta beat Tampa Bay
I'm
twice
picking
already.
Carolina to beat Atlanta this week because Carolina's playing
I
good
am
ball
too.
and Atlanta's going back and forth. But that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that shortly.
Yeah. It's going to be.
Atlanta's been very up and down. Atlanta's been very up and down.
Will, how about
Jeremy.
Will, what's your take on the playoffs?
Again, thanks for having me for the 5th time. I am intrigued. I'm intrigued. I think this playoffs is going to be very, very exciting. I forgot who said it, but because we've talked a lot, I think it's definitely Philly, Vikings, or Detroit. That's definitely going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And I think the Commanders can make some noise. I agree. If they play the Rams or the Bucks, those could be favorable matchups.
And Lions fans that are in attendance, I do have some good news out of the practice thing. Alex Anzalone was limited in practice, and so was David Montgomery.
you?
Nice.
Was it Leaf too?
Say what?
Was it Leaf too?
Oh, Leaf's been practicing. They just didn't let him play last week. He's been back.
Okay.
He's been on the active roster.
He'll
I
be
think
back.
he's going to be back this week.
He'll be on. Mm-hmm.
And yes, you're absolutely right. If David Montgomery doesn't fumble that ball and Ivan Pace Jr. run it in, it's a different ball game.
I mean,
But
it should have,
at
could
the
have,
same
would have.
time, it came
It
down
doesn't
to
make a difference now.
who finished the game and who didn't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Mhm.
now that I've gotten everybody's takes, I think it's on the AFC side. There's 3 teams at the top that everybody's got to go through. I think it's Baltimore, Buffalo, and the Chiefs. And until somebody unseats them, I got the Chiefs making it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my take is I see Houston getting bounced out. I don't know. That team's just between injuries, and they just seem like they've struggled. And
The Chiefs you talking about?
talking about Houston.
Houston.
Oh, Houston
Texans.
struggled. They've had a lot of O-line. The biggest, it isn't so much the wide receivers, because we saw that last year. He had his wide
Right.
receivers go down off and on all year last year. The difference is the O-line play. They're not keeping him as upright. He doesn't have as much time in the pocket. He is athletic, but he's not a run-first QB.
Right.
So he doesn't have that breakaway speed like some of the other athletic QBs has. And he's being caught and he's being sacked because he doesn't have that 2.7 to 2.8 seconds in the pocket. Their average time in the pocket for the Texans this year is 2.3 seconds. And that's why they're struggling.
Amen.
You take a half a second away from a quarterback, you're taking away an eternity.
Mm-hmm. That's what
Especially
I've told people.
Especially a second-year quarterback.
Oh,
So it is now time to talk some actual football. There's no Thursday night football this week. Hallelujah after that. After the shit show.
Die.
After the shit show that was Seattle versus Chicago last week.
How do you end Thursday night football?
What a way to take out the season here, Amazon.
6
Look at
to
that.
3.
What am I going to sleep to tomorrow
6
night?
to 3. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
What am I going
I've
to
seen more-
sleep to tomorrow
I've seen
night?
more scoring in a
that's
women's
baseball.
soccer game.
And can you? I told Jeremy this, and it made him laugh on his show. I said it should have been rated R for really, really bad.
Yes. It just
It was the Mariners versus the White
before I
Sox.
go any further.
Wasn't the Rams 49ers game like a 12-9 game?
There
Like
was
there
a
was no
12-9
touchdown.
or a 15-10.
Yeah,
something
Yeah, it
like
was
it was
something
all
like
But
field
that.
this was the
goals.
worst.
But that was the worst game on Thursday night football
Mhm.
since week 2 of last season. Remember week 2 last season? That awful game that came down and it was 15-12. That was the week after the Lions versus Chiefs.
I
Oh,
remember that. I
Which
just can't
actually
think of
was
what
a good
teams.
game because that was 21-20. Say what you want. The score's better when they're in the 20s.
yes.
And then they go to a
Mhm.
15-9 or a 15-12 game. And by week 4, Al Michael was making statements. If there's not more scoring in this game, I'm going to retire.
I wouldn't blame
I
him.
think what makes what makes these games horrible though is just because I like to see defensive games. I do.
You know,
But they got to be good defensive games. They can't be this Seattle Chicago game was just an epiphany of bullshit. That's what that was. It was. Those two teams should not even be in the NFL
Yeah, and
after
the
that game.
scored 2 points the other night.
Well,
Yeah,
matter of
that's-
fact,
Yeah.
it all comes down to the scheduling too. Because if you see those Netflix games, they're all blowouts.
Mm-hmm. Every single one. We just talked about one.
Yep.
The Texans that scored 2 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Joke.
the
All right.
schedule needs to be better coming to prime time and Netflix
Oh,
games.
So now we get the fun of doing the pick'ems. Mike, I go through it. It's a straight up pick'em, no point spread. We just talk about who's versus who. And the first game is Cleveland versus Baltimore. If anybody's taking Baltimore, raise your hand. Notice I'm not. You don't have to make me feel. You're taking. Is anybody taking the Browns?
I was gonna say.
no.
Is Lamar starting?
Man, Baltimore has a 17.5 point favorite
Yeah,
going in this game. 17.5. What the fuck?
I don't
You're gonna drop 4.
I
That's
don't
a
think they're
college-
covering
that's a
the score,
college.
but I think they're winning by about 12. That's
Before
God's
I,
honest truth.
before I answer that, is Lamar
I'm
starting?
I'm rooting for the Browns virtually.
I don't know. You know, I
I
want
know
to
you
address
are.
this
Matters.
because this came out in the media and they talked about it on NFL Network. The targeting shots from the 49ers in that Lions game. If it comes out that it's some type of bounty gate, you will see a repercussion just like what happened with the Saints.
Mhm.
The general manager, the head coach will be suspended for the year.
Wow.
Mhm.
And they usually end up losing their job after that.
Wow.
And at this time it's not Sean Payton.
Right. If that happens, Kyle Shanahan will get his walking papers.
Bye.
And we saw it took Sean Payton, 3 years to get back to where he was at a place where he wanted to be because he was still under contract, but they actually let him waft in the wins, didn't they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Greg Williams?
I mean, he had that year he was suspended and he came back.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
he came
Greg?
back after that
I
year,
mean,
and then
they
they
didn't
didn't
get
get
rid
rid of him, but they didn't let him coach either the next year, is what I'm getting at. He coached a year after he got off the suspension, and then he wasn't coaching. And come to find out, Denver had to trade for his rights because he was still under contract.
Wasn't it Greg Williams that was the defensive coordinator on the Saints that year?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I agree, Ken Linen. Please just shit can Thursday night football from now on. I think it should be
Yep.
once a month in a special game and make it one of the divisional games where it's actually something worth watching.
Yeah.
Make it a
And Mike,
rivalry game.
yes. And Mike, it was Greg Williams, yes.
No.
Yeah, like I said,
I thought-
until it gets proven by the NFL that that's what happened.
Mhm.
So is Lamar starting?
Yeah, Lamar's
I think
starting.
so.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not taking Cleveland then.
Oh yeah,
Because-
it's
yeah,
an
because
important game. Yeah,
This
they ain't
game's
gonna let
this game's for the
everybody
division.
blame.
If the Ravens win, they get
yeah,
the division.
Ravens lock the
Yep.
division if they win because they have the
Okay,
heads
yeah.
up with Pittsburgh.
So yeah, everybody's playing.
Corey Patterson. It makes a lot of Michigan fans sick, let me tell you. But anyways, so we already got through that. Baltimore's winning. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Who do you got there, Keegan?
No. Pensman, I'm hoping since he wins.
Okay. Bistrilla.
As much as I want, as much as I feel good for Pittsburgh, I mean, I just feel too good for Cincinnati right now. Cincinnati has got a 4-game win streak. I don't know where the hell Pittsburgh's at right now. Their defense fell apart in the last 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on with that whole situation.
4.
And 4, okay.
Thank you, Dopey.
But I got Cincinnati.
There's we have a lot of Vikings fans in here, Rocco P. That's why everybody's hating. But you know what? I let them talk because this is an NFL-based show tonight. We're talking a little bit of everything. All right. You're not picking Cleveland to beat Baltimore, are you, Mike?
No.
Okay.
Not a snowball's
Just
chance
check
in
it.
hell.
Okay.
Better
Who you,
chance of seeing God.
so I'll get to you on the next one. I just wanted to catch you up with where we were. Pensman, who you got between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh? At Pittsburgh.
I want to say I know I want to say Pittsburgh because we have all of our players back, but the way they've been playing like garbage. But I got Cincinnati in this game. Yeah, I know. Don't have a heart attack on
I
the-
almost
on
choked.
Yeah, don't have a heart attack on the air. But I'm going for Cincinnati. I want Pittsburgh, obviously, but the way they've been playing, but I think Pittsburgh's going to win, but because of injuries coming back. But Cincinnati's playing hot right now.
All right. Mike Fuji, who you got?
I got Cincinnati. I mean, just seems like, the Steelers 3 games in the last 11 days. Just hate to say it, but I think the wheels are falling off in Pittsburgh right now.
You made a key point there. They had three games in that 11-day stretch. They finally had a week off, a full week off.
and
and
everybody's back.
everybody's back healthy. I want to point that out because that may make a huge difference in how they play. I think they were absolutely gassed the second game and didn't even have a chance to recover for the third.
Well, I mean, he played Baltimore. It was Philly, Baltimore, and
Yeah, that's a kind of a
Kansas City.
gauntlet. That's kind of a gauntlet.
Well, the Eagles had that stretch last year in the second half. After they played Dallas, then they had their bye, and then they had Kansas City, Buffalo, San Fran.
Yeah, and it didn't help that you guys
Nah.
got rid of your defensive coordinator and promoted Matt
Matt
Patricia
Patricia.
to call your defense.
Exactly.
As the first two games when I saw that one-man defensive line prevent defense in the third quarter with the lead, I said they're screwed.
Well,
I saw it one time. I said it's over. I mean, when all you leave on the defensive line is either Brandon Graham or Jalen Carter or the other guy, Jordan Davis, if that's all that's on your defensive line and everybody's back in coverage playing soft zone, and in average, high school quarterback's going to tear that apart.
Well, Drew Lock beat, they lost to Seattle in like the final couple minutes of that game last year. So just a meltdown.
All right, well, who you got?
First off, who let Ryan Day on the panel below me? Like, come on. Seriously, guys, Ryan Day.
That's their next head. That's the Bears' next.
Taking a break from my team conference.
Yeah, I heard about that. Joe Burrow led me to a fantasy football championship. I've got to go with the Bengals.
All right, Austin.
Yeah, Bengals are on a little bit of a hot streak, winning streak and all that. Like Mike said, the wheels are kind of falling off in Pittsburgh a little bit, and T. Higgins is actually starting to make his presence known on that offense. So I got the Bengals winning.
Okay, Mike Johnson.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh with an upset. I think Russ is going to make one last hurrah to try to stay there and see what they can kind of build on for next year.
I went with Pittsburgh too, just for the reason I said. The fact they're fully rested, there's nobody on the IR, everybody's back healthy. I think this is the game that Mike Tomlin actually gets right. And
For
if that's
once.
the case, yeah, I just think, the last 3 weeks were kind of, if you look at the whole season in the entirety, the last three games with them being back to back to back in 11 days, and every team has had a gauntlet at one point or another, in even this season. And not a lot of them went 3-0 in that stretch.
Amen. Yep.
So I kind of, yeah, I know, B. I know we did. Yeah, I see your point.
And
All
if
right.
Pittsburgh does win, they move up in the standings and the seeding.
Washington at Dallas. Do they show up?
No, it's Dallas. They suck.
I will say Romeo Dowdell has looked better over the last 5 weeks than I ever gave him credit for. That micro machine of a running back that was helping one guy almost kicked my ass, but he ended up coming up short.
Yeah, no, I agree. Dowdell was pretty decent.
All puns about height there. Did you notice? Micro machine came up a little short.
Micro machine.
So who you got there, Keegan?
I don't think anyone's taking Dallas. We got to take.
Taking.
I'm taking Commanders.
Okay, Bistrella, I know you ain't taking the Cowgirls, are you? Next, Pensman.
Commanders.
And I know Fuji probably would rather have Dallas win since they're out of the playoffs and play spoiler, but statistically, who do you think is going to win, Mike?
I think Dallas packed it in against the Eagles on Sunday, and Washington's fighting for that seeding, so definitely going. And Washington knows Dallas because Dallas beat them earlier down in Washington.
No, Washington's not resting players because if they lose and another team wins, they drop out of the playoffs.
Exactly.
It's that close.
Yeah, Green Bay
Washington.
wins.
As long as Washington wins and Green Bay wins, the seeding stays right where it's at. But both teams have to win because
Right.
I don't think there's anybody that can catch Green Bay though, is it? At 11 wins?
I don't think. I
Nope.
believe not.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well,
So basically,
Commanders are 11.
right, but they have the strength of schedule over what Green Bay has for their
Oh, okay.
strength of wins. So right now, Washington,
Well,
Dr. Chow, the
Hey,
Mega
Patty.
G. I hope our Lions can win it, but we are not as good as the Vikings, at least maybe next year. I actually think we're all playing about exactly the same, except
I was going to say that.
Jeremy,
we're
Dr.
actually
Chow,
scoring more
Dr.
points.
Chow says Washington's clinched.
Washington has clinched a playoff berth, but not their seeding. Both the
Okay.
Packers and Washington are at 11. If one of them loses and the other wins, they switch.
Mm-hmm. Well, more effectively, Green Bay has to win, and Washington has to lose
Right,
for the
pretty
switch.
much. If they both win, they stay where they're at. They both lose, they stay where they're at.
If Washington wins, Green Bay loses, they
Right.
stay where they're at.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter which way it goes, but basically Washington has to lose and Green Bay has to win for it to change. That's the only way it changes.
yeah. All right, well, you're up.
Washington with a back-to-back 40-piece McNugget. First Philly, now Washington.
All right, Austin.
Yeah, give me Washington.
Mike.
Give me the Redskins in this one.
And I say the Foreskins are gonna get it because they were the
Yes.
Redskins before. I've always called them the Foreskins.
And
But
they're
aren't
coming
they?
back.
They're coming
Mike,
back
that
as
one,
the
look at him
Redskins
laugh.
next year, aren't they? They're coming back as the Redskins next year, aren't they?
There's a
think-
good possibility because it did pass a poll through Native American tribes on the eastern seaboard, and so they're petitioning to bring back the Redskins name and the logo.
I've never been rumors about that.
No, it actually did happen earlier, so now they're petitioning the NFL to bring it back.
And I just want to say one more thing, that the Guardians are staying the Guardians. They're not coming back with the Indians.
I'm going to
Yuck.
start with our guy near the Houston area.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Houston at Tennessee. Who you got there, Mr. Mike?
We're going with the Texans
All right.
Yeah.
Austin?
against the former Oilers.
I got
All
the
right.
Texans as well.
Will?
H-Town.
Mike?
Houston, as much as they've been struggling, that Tennessee team's a dumpster fire.
Amen. Pensman?
Texans.
B?
I want to say Texans, but I'm not saying it confidently because they got Tennessee as a point favorite in this game for some reason.
Wow.
I wonder
Because
what's
of their
going on in
defense.
Houston.
That's weird.
Because of the shit show they've been putting on for the last couple.
Their defense is long gone, man. It ain't got nothing to do with their defense. Their defense
Titans-
sucks.
The Titans' defense is still up near the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing.
Oh.
It don't. It don't. Tennessee sucks. Period. So
yeah, Tennessee.
I want to know what's
their
going.
Their quarterbacks give out interceptions as quick as old people pass out Halloween candy.
Well, isn't it Mason's starting, isn't he?
Yeah, and he still threw 3 picks last week.
Hey, I'm watching.
yeah.
I'm watching sport. I'm
Maybe.
watching Sports
Well-
Center B. I'm gonna have to resubmit my picks for this week now that I'm seeing that Mahomes ain't starting, Stafford ain't starting. You got Jimmy Garoppolo starting. You got Carson Wentz starting. I'm just like, what the shit?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people resting. Matt Stafford's not starting too because they clinched the division over Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
they
got
just
Houston.
announced that Stafford wasn't playing.
So wait,
Yep.
who's
Porn star Jimmy.
who you got?
Jimmy G.
So who you got? Keeg, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Keegan.
I was thinking about taking the Titans, but their defense is slowly deteriorating. I'm taking H-Town.
All right. Jacksonville at Indy. I don't trust either team. Who you got, Keegan?
You know what? Jacksonville is going to screw up their top 5 pick. I'm taking Jacksonville.
I think they already did that. But anyways, Bistrilla.
Even more. Even more.
I'm going for a tie.
Going for a tie. All right, Benson.
Not Jacksonville.
Not Jacksonville. Okay. Fuji.
This has to be the toilet bowl of the week.
There it is.
I'll say Jacksonville, not by much.
Will?
Indy.
Austin?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll take Indy as well. Why not?
And Mike Johnson.
I'm taking Indy as well.
I went for the return of the Mac. It's going to be Jacksonville. All right. Buffalo at New England. New England almost beat Buffalo in their house just not too long ago.
Are they
Who you
wrestling
got?
anybody?
Buffalo's not. Even though they clinched the 2 seed, for some reason I haven't heard they're resting anybody.
Wow.
I am not even paying attention to that stuff. I know. They can,
No,
they can talk
Jeremy,
their,
look at the
I
last
know.
net. Yeah. Ooh.
I know. They can talk their stuff. We're talking
Okay.
football.
Okay.
Pats gave Bills a run for their money last time. Even though Bills are probably starting their starters, I'm gonna take the Pats.
All right. Who you got, B?
If Buffalo is playing their starters, no, New England ain't gonna win that game. I don't care how close stuff is at. They ain't gonna beat Buffalo. Buffalo is a winner. New England's not.
All right. Hensman.
Probably.
New England if Buffalo's resting starters. If not, then it's going to be Buffalo.
Fuji.
Same as what Penn's just said. I mean, if they're going to pull stars, I mean, hey, New England could just win the game out.
I think Buffalo's practice squad could beat New England myself. That roster sucks. But anyways, Will.
Buffalo.
Austin?
Buffalo.
Mike Johnson?
I'm taking the Bills.
I took the Bills as well. All right. New York Giants at Philly? I'm going to start with the guy that's the Philly guy. Are you confident Kenny Pickett is going to be able to get it done since Jalen Hurts is resting another week?
I don't know if Pickett's actually starting. I mean,
it was announced today that Pickett is starting, Hurts is out. They also said they're resting Saquon today.
Well, yeah, they decided not to let him break the record, which a lot of people here in Philly are a little pissed with that. But
I think if he broke the record, he was a shoo-in for Offensive Player of the Year and might even been able to contend for the MVP.
Right. But, I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, I'd give him the first half to play, but, you don't want anybody going down. I'd say the Eagles pull it out in a close one because, they're not playing their starters. So,
okay. Will.
Philly.
Mike Johnson.
I'm taking Philly.
Austin.
Philly.
Ben.
Fire dumpster Giants.
Bistrilla.
It's the Giants. Come on. Then you got that little lucky thing against Indianapolis. That's why I say Indianapolis sucks. So, yeah,
And
I'm
that's
going
another
Philly.
reason why I went Saxonville. But anyways, Keegan.
I'm gonna take the Sanders Giants.
Ooh.
I took Philly.
Interesting. Very interesting.
New Orleans at Tampa Bay, and nobody's resting for Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Tampa.
All right, B.
Tampon Bay.
Pensman.
Tampa.
Mike Fuji.
Tampa Bay as well.
You like that one too, don't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Tampa Baker.
all right. Austin.
Buccaneers.
Mike Johnson.
Give me Baker's Bucks.
I took Baker as well. I think Tampa Bay's got it. Kansas City at Denver.
I like that Baker's
with
Bucks.
Carson Wentz starting. Who do you got there, Mike Johnson?
Anybody but Carson Wentz. Good God, he's horrible. I think the Jets could beat him if they're playing him right now. So, yeah, no, not taking Kansas City.
Yeah,
Austin.
I'm taking Denver.
Take Denver. Okay, well,
Broncos.
Mike.
Denver.
Bensman.
Denver.
B.
I'm taking Denver and a 10.5.
I would take the 10.5 too. But anyways, Keegan.
All right, I'm gonna bring out something. You remember the streak that I had with the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing going on with the Chiefs.
Kansas City.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Oh, so you're going the opposite way. You picked against them so many times they won. You said, "Screw it, I'm going the other way."
Yep.
He has confidence in Wentz.
Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I took Denver. All right. LA
Once again-
Chargers at Vegas. I haven't heard they're sitting anybody for the Chargers. Is anybody peeking the Raiders to beat the Chargers?
Not a chance.
It's kind of like
Not with Crosby sitting there.
right. Seattle at Rams, even though Stafford's not playing, Pornstar Jimmy is a good game manager. Let's not forget what he was doing there in San Francisco. And they have a better O-line in LA than they have at Las Vegas. So is anybody picking Seattle in this game?
Right here.
Woo.
Right here. Right here. I'm taking a chance.
I think Seattle's ass is cooked, but okay, I like it.
I think Seattle could win that game too. Only because you got to remember they got two porn stars as a backup quarterback. They got porn star Jimmy, and they got sexy Stenton. Like sexy Stenson.
Do not call him that. That's terrible.
That's horrible. No,
You're canceled.
I heard that Kelly Stafford is banned because of this. Because the only thing she bangs is backup quarterbacks from Georgia, and Stetson Bennett graduated from Georgia.
She can't go.
No, Kelly's going to be Kelly's down in New Orleans right now, scouting out Georgia's backup quarterback tomorrow.
Right. All right.
This is for good luck.
Oh, you want the Michael Huck ask for the minute. Porn star Jimmy. And
a
we
Stetson
beat you
man.
by,
Here you go,
when we
Blue
beat
Sky.
the Vikings by 2 in your house. All these Vikings fans in here talking shit when they haven't won against us in almost 2 seasons.
Yeah, Mike, calm down. I'm kidding.
I'm not saying shit.
I know.
Because
I know.
Everybody.
Although I do want to say that, Ken the Packer fan, reneged on our bet. His background and his profile picture has nothing to do with the Vikings all week.
Yeah, I noticed.
Ooh.
Oh,
Shame.
Don't want to be
well.
calling out Ken.
All right.
Damn, Ken. Come on.
Now it's going to
So-
be 2 weeks. He has to keep it up.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what she said.
With the help of this little blue pill.
Should be waiting.
Thank you, Elijah Hanna. I love the fact we got 115 people watching us at 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Fucking
Awesome.
picking game.
That's great.
How amazing is this?
Awesome.
Probably 75% of them are Minnesota
Yeah,
fans too. by the way.
unfortunately.
It actually is 50% Viking fans on Twitter but not
man.
on YouTube. On YouTube, it's 33 on the channel. On my channel,
Hey, Mike, get your boy up there, Lord
Bro,
Hega Monster,
I don't know who
with
that
his
is.
Trump insignia up there.
I don't speak for him.
I don't know who it is. Don't care. You know, you guys said you weren't losing when you were undefeated and we had one loss and we came in your house too. That's all I got to say. You know, until it's proven on the field, it's anyone's game. I do feel like it.
I'm sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Oh, they're all through the chat there, J.I. But anyways, it's going to be a close game. I'm going to leave it at that. But we're going to be predicting that game is the last game we talk about because it is the last game of the week. Now we got to get to Will's game. Carolina at Atlanta. Anybody taking Atlanta? Well, let's go through it. Let's do it right. Keegan, who you got?
Pampers.
All right, Bistrilla.
I got Penis Jr.
All right, Benjamin.
Atlanta.
Stop
Mike.
calling him that.
Crapalina.
Crapalina.
Like
all right. Will.
Bold prediction: Carolina BTA belt to Ennis.
Ooh, listen to him.
Ooh.
He got cocky since Bryce Young got good. Austin.
Go Will. Go Will.
Yeah, Atlanta's too wishy-washy. I'll take the Panthers.
Mike?
I'm going to take Atlanta just because, the way, Penix played last week. He's going to have a good week this week. He's, learning more. He's understanding that offense. And, Carolina's defense isn't anything that's to write home about. So I think he's going to put up big numbers this week.
Besides that, Will, what happened to them when they played Tampa Bay?
Oh, we sucked ass.
Somebody didn't show up. Somebody didn't
No
show
one did.
up.
Well, Bryce
Only
Young
Adam
did the rest of
Thielen and Bryce Young did.
And you guys made fun of me because I defended him. And you like, who? What about that interception?
I did not make.
Not you, Jeremy. I'm talking about the podium people. I'm talking about Baker and everybody. He's like, he didn't show up. What about that interception? He's a good quarterback.
I think Carolina is going to win. Chuba Hubbard has been running like a guy possessed, and they struggle against the run.
He's out for the year.
When did he get hurt? Last game?
Yeah.
Didn't they put him on the IR just last week?
Yeah,
So
but
is
it
it
just happened to last week.
Didn't he have an MCL?
You want to change that? You want to change
No,
that,
I'm still
JD?
not changing it. I still think Carolina wins because I don't trust Atlanta to be consistent at all. They got really close to beating Washington, but did they beat Washington? No.
It's Rashid.
Washington's a better
For
team.
those who won't know, it's Rashid Blackshear, who's our running back this week.
Okay. Yeah, he's a decent guy, but
That's the last 2 weeks.
Thanks, Will. That's awesome.
San Francisco at Arizona. It's another toilet bowl because neither team is going to the playoffs. Who you got there, Keegan?
MSJ is going to have a career day.
So you're going Arizona. Gotcha. Bistrilla.
I picked a red team.
Yeah, you're almost safe with that.
That's a bold tragedy, Cotton.
In other words, it's a tie. It's another one of my tie ones, I'm going with the tie.
Oh, Henry Gray's going hard at those guys.
So,
all right.
At least they'll understand the overtime rules. And they'll understand the overtime rules.
Pensman, who you got?
I got the oh man.
Yeah, no Purdy. It's Josh Dobbs the whole game.
I got the Cardinals on this one.
All right. Mike.
Unless he's benched at halftime.
I'll say the 49ers, not by much.
Will.
Hey, Jeremy, you know what time it is.
What time is that? The Keebler Elf song?
Oh, the Keebler Elf.
Yeah,
You're taking the Keebler Elf, right?
FTC. Give me the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, Austin.
I got the Cardinals, not by much.
Right.
Maybe another 6-3 game.
Hey, they did. Yeah, I will say that offensively, the 49ers played their best game of the year this past week. But was it good enough? Nope. Anyways, Mike, who you got, Mr. Johnson?
I'm taking the pass or not. You know, when he comes in for one game, he plays phenomenal, and this is going to be his phenomenal game. So, give me the 49ers by a touchdown.
I don't give two shits. People can say it was a dirty player, but guess what? He's never been fined. What were we
Yep.
just talking about here? There was something
Niners
else.
and Cardinals.
49ers, Cardinals.
Cardinals and 49ers.
I'm gonna put up a graphic, and I forgot what I was on.
You're
Mike,
good, Jeremy. You're good.
Gavin, Mike.
He said.
Oh,
49ers.
yeah, I forgot about
Oh.
this one. Is anybody picking the Chicago Bears?
No.
Anyone?
Who are they going against?
Ah, man.
Anybody picking the Chicago Bears to beat the
I
Packers?
gotta find a way
Anyone?
to make that. Gotta find a way to
Make
make
that
that.
take.
No.
Oh, that's what it was. Somebody asked where Leonard is. Here he is. We got no thumbs Leonard in the building.
He's another keeper out one.
Ah, shit.
Is anybody picking the Bears to beat Green Bay? I think they could
No.
sit their whole team, bring up the practice squad and Bishop Sycamore, and still beat them.
I think I take the Pop Warner team over the Packers any day of the week.
And J.I. says they.
I heard they might sit
The
Candyman.
Candyman.
So far, I haven't heard. Yes, Happy New Year, Robert. Must contain St. Brown. Must contain St. Brown. Must contain Jamison Williams. Must contain Sam Laporta, who's playing better.
Gibbs.
You know what? We've let Justin Jefferson has scored 2 touchdowns versus the Lions defense in his entire career in every game he's played.
Yeah, but
You
he's
know
had a
what?
lot of yards, JB.
Yeah, well, I understand that. But do yards equal points?
No.
Yards equal points because when he has big games,
No.
Have they?
then you start
wait,
doubling him.
But have they, though? No, they haven't, because guess what? We win this one, that's 4 in a row. It's been 2 years since you guys won a game in Detroit.
Okay.
Not one season. I'm talking 2 seasons ago. We swept you last year.
Yeah, we were horse shit last year.
You had Kirk Cousins in the first game. Oh, no, you didn't. Sorry,
No.
excuse me. You had Nate Mullins both games. Who was doing his best impression of Will Levis against our bad defense.
It is what it is. You guys are a revamped team, so let's fuck off with the past. That's not what it is. Let's concentrate on what's going to happen Sunday. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a hard fought game, and the best team will win.
If the Lions game ends in a tie, because the strength of schedule and the strength of wins already has it sitting the way it does, the Lions are the first seed. Nobody moves.
Yeah. We have.
Is that the game we're on
guys,
right now?
You guys have everything to lose, and we have everything to gain. So it's going to come to who's going to want it the most.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, that
the game
doesn't
we're
go without
at,
saying,
and I'm
'cause
starting
Detroit
with
plays
our
every game like
Minnesota
that.
guest. Minnesota at Detroit. What's your pick, Mike?
I'm not, Jeremy. Because it's too close to call. I said, I can appreciate what Dan Campbell has done. I appreciate the adversity that your team has went through the whole year. 21 players on the IR and still playing elite football. Yes, our defense is stepping up. Yes, our offense is starting to throw the ball down the field. Can we contain, St. Brown? Can we contain your running game? Laporta? I mean, you got to ask yourself the same thing. Can you contain Hawkinson? Can you contain Jefferson and Addison? I mean, it's going to be a very hard-fought game, just like the first one. and it's going to come down to a last-second point.
So I'm going to go to the other fans first. Mike, what do you think about this game, Mr. Fuji?
Well, it's definitely the game of the week. I mean, everything's on the line for the number 1 seed, and I just think it's going to be within probably less than a touchdown, definitely. I mean,
I think it's less than a touchdown. I think it's going to be a 4-point game. That's how close these teams are. And it's going to come down to who has the ball last.
I was even going to say even by a field goal. So
It's possible.
Oh, and just FYI, I am picking the Vikings.
I kind of figured you were.
No.
No.
Benjamin?
I got the Lions winning 24-21.
Austin?
Game of the year is just it's what it's what everything you hope for in the last game of the season with the 1 seed and the division on the line, stuff like that. So it's all got the semantics for a really good game. Is going to come down to who's got the ball last, and I say Detroit gets the ball last, and we win by a Jake Bates field goal.
All right. Will?
So I'm going to give a score prediction because I can't make it on Friday, unfortunately. Okay. But both these teams are having stellar years. Both teams are fun to watch. Both teams are just solid. This is a great game to end the regular season with. With that being said, I got Detroit winning 34-30.
Beach Drilla.
He's taking the Vikings.
Is definitely in your dreams, buddy. In your motherfucking
Come on,
dreams.
go out of the loom. Surprise us.
No, hell no.
Jay,
Let him go.
no way.
That's like a hooker not accepting money for her services. Anyway,
That's like the old joke. You know how to make a hormone? Don't pay her.
Actually, that's a pretty good one, Jane. Fine, that's a pretty good score, but I'm going the opposite. I'm going 31-28 Lions.
Right. Keegan.
I kind of have to agree with Mike, but I'm going with the other way. What Kevin O'Connell has done with Donald is amazing, but it could go both ways between the two teams. I'm taking the Lions by like a touchdown.
Damn, a touchdown?
Well, I'm going to tell you, break it out the way I've seen it all year. We're averaging 34 points a game. They're averaging 30. They're giving up less points, but every time we face a team that's given up less points, what has the Lions done?
Run it up.
It is going to be a good game. And I do see Jefferson going off for about 130 yards because that's what he gets on an average every game versus Detroit. But if you take his 8 games in his career and divide that into 2, that's a quarter of a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he averages versus Detroit, is 135 to 140 yards and a quarter of a touchdown per game.
He's getting a touchdown. In this game.
You could say that, but we don't know that. We don't know it.
I mean, we don't know he ain't going to score a touchdown either. I mean, it goes both ways. But if it's going to be a high scoring game, Jefferson's definitely going to get a touchdown.
I'm going
and Addison.
Arnold,
Guys like Jeremy Tubb.
Yeah, Arnold is just.
I'm going with the Lions are going to win 35-31.
Ooh, nice. Anyway, JB, I've got to run. Thanks for having me.
Have a good
See
night,
you guys
Will.
next Wednesday. Have a great show,
Will.
and go Lions. And
have a good New Year.
All right, I also want to add on. So last week against the Packers, first quarter, Packers were shutting down Justin Jefferson. I won't be surprised if Lions use that blueprint to shut down Jefferson.
No, I don't see that, Keegan, just for the simple fact of Justin Jefferson has been shut down with minimal yards twice this year. And every game after that, he's bounced back and had a big game because, Kevin O'Connell has been able to adjust to what the defenses did. So just kind of like what you said, they're already thinking of that. It's kind of like, St. Brown. You're not gonna shut them down 2 games in a row. It's gonna be a good game. They're gonna get theirs, and I have to agree. It's gonna come down to, honestly, I think it's gonna come down to who gets the ball at the second half.
Well, the Lions are going to get the ball second half because we always defer.
Well, Minnesota might, get, defer. You never know.
Yeah,
that's it. It's whoever wins the flip. Whoever wins the flip is deferring because they want the ball in the second half. Everybody says, "Oh, you want to come out strong," but if you look, I think this year it's been 78% of the teams that get the flip, they defer to the second half. Very rarely do teams take the ball first anymore. It's always deferred to them.
Well,
not with Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, we've taken the ball first a few times and we've won games like that. You gotta go against you gotta go with your strengths against your weaknesses. Our defense is our weakness. There's no doubt about that. So what you want to do is you want to come out first to score. That's what you want to do. I don't think he's going to defer. I think he's going to take it.
We've been coming out strong.
I'm going to run. I got to go back to work tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff I got to do from clean.
Thanks for
War
coming
week.
in.
I love you guys.
Yeah, Mike.
All right, Mike.
Yep.
Go. Happy New Year.
Go Bucks.
Happy New Year to you, buddy.
I can't wait till
Happy
the
New Year
Lions
to you
skull
guys,
fuck
too.
the Lions again.
Yeah, it's not going to
Oh, wait,
happen.
before you
We
go,
skull fuck them Vikings.
Before you go, is there a bet this week?
Just like week 7. It looked just like this. Hey, I will admit,
man.
you got to admit, I've only picked against Minnesota 3 times, and what has happened?
You lost 2 of them.
You lost 2 of them,
man.
yeah. I'm picking against them again.
I know you are.
So what's your bet for this week?
What?
Oh, we background buddy.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know what background you're getting if you lose. You're getting that one.
Damn.
Ah, shit.
Now you guys you have to remember who I work for. And
man.
a lot of them can't put something like that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be up. It's gonna be up, buddy. One way or another, it's gonna be up.
You better just explain what's going on before it happens.
Oh, man.
Probably.
That's the thing, though. He's always on his phone. How's he going to get a
All right.
By the way, speaking of your defense, before you hop out, Mike, only 4 teams have scored 30-plus points against Brian Flores defense. Who was 3 of those?
The Rams,
I'll give you a hint.
the Lions, and the Packers.
There you go.
The Lions, and the Lions scored 30 points against you. The Lions scored 30 points in all 3 of their wins versus the Brian Flores defense.
I mean, that's all great. I used to not have gray hair, so I mean, if we want to keep talking about things that are irrelevant, I mean, we can do that all night.
This year, we did it this year. It's
Once.
not irrelevant.
Once.
Yeah, and we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson has B-Flow's number. That's all I got to say.
What's that?
Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, has B-Flow's number.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game, guys. I love you. You know, it's going to be some great shit talking. Don't mind the random, text you get out of nowhere, and stuff on there.
I know that I'm going to get a couple from you. Like, if you guys do something that's stupid, I'm going to get the, God fucking damn it, this goddamn team. And if you do something great, I told you we were going to be good. I know what I'm getting. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will every time you guys score a touchdown, I'll be on that chat talking about how shitty our defense is. So here we go. All right, guys. Happy New Year. I wish you all a very
We're
healthy,
used to it, Mike.
prosperous, and great, 2025. And
Amen.
we'll talk again.
Thank you. You too.
You
You
too,
too,
Mike.
Shane.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one.
I want to say thank you to everybody that's been here tonight. This has been a blast. This was a
Yeah.
lot of fun tonight. As you see, I run a little bit of a loose ship. Mike, I have fun with it.
I think it's great. Cracking me. Love it.
Until they hate us because they ain't us, is what they say, right?
No, I mean, hey, it's like that in the NFC East. I mean, it's
Here,
you look at some of these, pages with, Eagles. Everybody's calling, just ripping on everybody, and I think it's great. As long as it don't get out of hand like it does at some of these games. Where it's idiots fighting and over something stupid.
Yeah.
Everybody acts like the Lions haven't had pressure games lately. I don't know where that comes from because, we've been under pressure games and coming back and winning. We haven't been running up the score on everybody. Yes, we've had 5 games where we scored 40 plus points. Technically 6 because we didn't throw a pick in the goddamn Bills game either. Oh, I love it. I love it. And don't get me wrong, Aaron. I love when you guys come in and talk. It is great for the channel. But we will be doing the Lions Vikings pregame show on Friday at 9 p.m. That will be the Lions Fan Cave chat. I apologize. I didn't set up my show right. And I had to use this for the NFL Roundtable Talks, but I appreciate you guys being in the chat. It's been a hell of fun. I don't care if you guys talk shit, because that's what I expect. I expect a fan of another team to come in and talk shit.
Yeah.
But I don't expect this to be a blowout. I expect a very close, contested game. That's my point. I think both offenses are humming. I think both defenses know how to stop people when it's time.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we've seen all season from both teams. And anybody that says that you haven't seen that, evidently you didn't watch all the games.
When was the last time you saw 2 division rivals going at it for the division?
There has never been 2 teams with 14 wins for the last week of the season at any time since there was 16 weeks, because it couldn't happen in a 14-week season.
Right. Well, it's a heavyweight fight.
Yeah,
So it's coming down though.
And think about this: our third place team is in the playoffs, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that doesn't think that the black and blue division,
it's the best division in football.
Yep.
Yep.
Last
year,
right now.
Last year, we were right behind the AFC North. The AFC North, when you looked at the record of the teams, they were the number 1 division last season. And I said, I don't see that this year because all those teams improved enough to beat up on each other. With the exception of the Bengals to start the year.
I'll say this, and I mean, the Bears, they beat themselves in a few games where they lost.
Oh, that's another graphic I got for you. Carl from Barstool Sports put out what the Bears need to become a good team.
Oh, I remember this.
They need a new owner, new president, new GM, new coach, new stadium, at least 3 offensive linemen, a new OC, a new DC, Caleb Williams to get better, the Lions fall off, the Vikings fall off, and the Packers change divisions and they can win again. They're not that far off. And this is the Bears fans waiting to be good again.
It's usually like the skeleton, they show a picture of Wade sitting there.
No, that looks a lot like someone. Ken, the Bear fan.
Man, I ain't going there. But I forgot to send it to him. If you're out there, Mr. Ken Catalone, here's your picture. Kitty Ken, beard and all.
Change your background, boss. Change your background, brother. Honor your
and
bet,
I'm not
man.
even going to say the Vikings are featherweight. They may have had some games where they fell on their face, namely week 7 and week 8. Do I have Jared Goff winning the
Week 8,
MVP?
definitely.
I don't think he does. I think it's come down to Josh Allen and Lamar and Burrow. I think that's who's up there at the top.
You don't
With
get
them
Derrick
resting
Henry?
Saquon, no.
No, you don't have Derrick Henry.
No, Derrick Henry, he's had a great season, but there's been games where he didn't do well and they still won.
Well, there's been games that Lamar didn't do well and they still they lost. So like when Derrick Henry wasn't playing, like the game against Kansas City where he was sitting on a bench the second half, they didn't win that game. That was the reason why they lost that game, because Derrick Henry.
But at the same time, there's games where Derrick Henry's been out there and got shut down and they still won. That's all I'm saying.
I think Henry and Lamar cross each other off.
I think they do.
Truth. Because Lamar wouldn't have a good season without Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had 1,700
I know,
yards.
1,683 yards. That's exactly what he's got. I know.
Great analogy.
He got 1,700.
It is.
Pretty sure
it is 17 now.
I believe he is over 17 now.
Okay. And he has the chance. Think about this. If he has one of those games, and we've seen Derrick Henry do it, he could actually get right up there or go 1 yard. And North Star Tales says, is this the biggest regular season game in NFL history? It might be as far as the record. I hear you, Aaron. And I haven't talked shit about the Vikings all year. As a matter of fact, you can ask anyone that's been on this panel, and that's mostly Keegan and Bistrila. At the beginning of the season, I said, if Sam Darnold does what I think he can do with a good roster around him and good coaching, they might be second place or contending for the division.
Yeah.
I said, if he plays bad, they are going to be no worse than third, because I didn't see the Bears getting out of the basement. I just didn't, because they didn't do enough on their O-line.
Mm-hmm. I remember some of us calling them a wild card. We didn't know what to expect from them.
All right.
I know some people did, and I was like, as soon as I saw that O-line, I was like, I'm done.
All right.
They're
All
out.
right, Jeremy, I gotta get going.
All right, Pensman, announce your channel.
All right, you can find me at Pensman Sports on YouTube. I have 703 subscribers. Looking for more, so you can find me on X on Pensman Sports too. So,
thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. But I will talk to you guys next week or so. So I'll see you next week. And go Lions for your sake.
Happy
New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, buddy.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Mike, go ahead and announce your channel. We're going to get ready to get out of here, because after this, I got to do my sponsor day.
At the 50 with Fuji and Fleet, we are on YouTube and Facebook. Wednesdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. Just check us out. Thanks again for having me. Hey, if it comes down Eagles, Lions, or whatever, definitely would like to come back on and chop it up with you fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll do a good pregame show.
Absolutely.
100%. Austin, tell everybody about your podcast you got coming up.
Yeah, so I'm going to be running my own show. I'm looking to start in the 2025 season. It's called Down the Field, Detroit and Beyond, where we kind of do similar to what we do on this show. Talk anything about football, pick'ems, you name it. So I'm looking to get that off the ground here soon.
Good luck with it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome. You're welcome.
All right. And now I got to talk about my sponsor, and B loves it when I do this. It's Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at $45 and up, depending on size and condition. If you need new tires, please call 810-233-8230. New tires are delivered within 1 to 2 business days. Talk to George or Red. If you mention this ad when you're buying a set of tires, you will get $25 off or $10 off a set of used tires.
Good job,
I know. I'm trying to keep a straight face, and this little bugger's is doing this little teapot shit. I want to say thank you.
And just one thing, Aaron.
What's that?
just one thing real quick. I just want to address Aaron real quick about the Lamar thing. Yeah, he wanted to you just said it right there. He won it without Henry. That's when you become an MVP, when you don't have to lean on somebody else. He had to win that MVP because he was doing everything by himself practically. He was rushing, he was leading rushing, he was passing, he was doing it all. Without Henry being there, he doesn't have to run as much. I don't think he's got 1,000 yards yet, does he?
He broke 1,000 this past
He does.
weekend. But anyways, he has 1,000 yards rushing. He has as good, if not, no, he actually has way better stats than Josh Allen has this year. Way better stats throwing the ball. He's been a much better thrower of the football. If he was going to get an MVP, I would rather it have been this year than last year, because last year he kind of sucked throwing the ball, was great at running it.
It should have been an MVP.
No, it should have been Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes or whoever.
I put things in perspective, though, when it comes to the MVP. Now, if Burrow happens to get in the playoffs, he's definitely my MVP. Because if you take Burrow off Cincinnati, that team's shit. Josh Allen, nobody expected Buffalo to do what they were doing, and if you took Josh Allen off that damn team, they'd be shit. If you took Lamar Jackson off Baltimore, I guarantee they'd still be winning games. Because they got Derrick Henry.
Maybe.
Well, you could say the same thing about the Titans, and they took a downfall with Henry too.
Well, they didn't have any good quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you're saying if you take Lamar off of the Ravens, they don't have a quarterback.
All I know, we got a hell of a game.
They got a backup.
We got a hell of a game coming up. It's going to be great. I want to say, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Thank you, Keegan. Thank you, B, who has his podcast, One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. Mike Fuji, thank you for coming in. Great talking with you.
It.
And Austin, as always, it's a pleasure, my brother. But have a great night and Happy New Year, everybody. Stay safe. If you can't stay safe, be careful.